All right, today we are talking about a single SEO strategy, one that claims to get some absolutely massive results. So let's just dive right in.
It all kicks off with this really bold question. One that kind of sounds too good to be true, right? Can just one piece of content, one guest post on someone else's website, actually move the needle that much?
Yeah, 25%. Just let that number sink in for a second. We're talking about a quarter more traffic from one single move. That is a huge claim, and you know what? We're going to find out exactly how it's supposed to work.
All right, first up, let's unpack this whole 25% traffic mystery. It's time to pull back the curtain on this really eye-popping claim.
Okay, so here's the thing, the really crucial part. This claim isn't about just any old guest post. Nope, it's about a very specific kind of post on a very specific kind of website. The secret here isn't just what you're writing, it's all about where you publish it.
So if the where is so incredibly important, then what are we actually looking for? Well, that brings us to what some people call SEO's secret weapon.
Okay, so at the very heart of this whole strategy are these things called backlinks. The easiest way to think about them is like recommendations or votes of confidence. When one website links out to another one, search engines like Google see that and they go, huh, okay, that's a vote of confidence. It's a signal that your content must be valuable, it must be trustworthy, and pretty simply, the more high-quality votes you get, the better.
And this is exactly why guest posting can be so powerful. It's not just about, getting your name out there. It's about strategically building these powerful votes of confidence from sites that are already respected. That's exactly what search engines want to see.
But that leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? What makes a site high authority? How do you even know if a website's vote of confidence actually carries any real weight? Well, lucky for us, there's a metric for that. It's called domain authority, or you'll see it as just DA. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a credit score, but for a website's trustworthiness. It's a score from 1 to 100, and it basically predicts how likely that site is to rank. So the higher the DA, the more authority it has in the eyes of a search engine, like Google.
And this is where we get to the specific target. The whole strategy, the secret sauce, really hinges on getting these backlinks from sites with a domain authority of 70 or higher. We're talking about the major players here, the big, trusted sources whose vote of confidence can give your own site a huge credibility boost.
Okay, so we know the goal, get links from these high-authority sites. But how do you actually do it? Let's break down the high-authority strategy.
It really breaks down into 3 simple key steps. Step 1, target. You gotta find the right sites. That means hunting down those high DA players in your specific niche that are actually accepting guest posts. Step 2, craft. This is where you create content that's genuinely useful for their audience, not just a sales pitch for you. And finally, step 3, outreach and measure. You pitch your awesome content, you build a real relationship with them, and then, this is key, you track the results once it goes live.
So does this whole 3-step dance actually work? Oh yeah. The answer is a big, resounding yes. And we've got the proof in the numbers.
Let's look at a case study, a real-world example that shows just how explosive this can be when you get it right.
Get ready for this, 2,000%. No, that is not a typo. Forget about that 25% we were talking about for a second. This is the kind of absolutely transformative growth that's possible here.
And look, this wasn't just some random fluke. The context is super important. This was a SaaS company, a software-as-a-service site that used this exact strategy. They targeted those high DA sites, and they saw this insane traffic boost in just 1 month. 1 month!
But look, success here isn't just about one big, flashy traffic number. To really, truly understand the impact, you have to measure it. And that's where key performance indicators, or KPIs, come into play.
There are a few key things you absolutely need to track. First, referral visits. Are people actually clicking the link from your guest post to get to your site? Then, time on page. This tells you if the people who do click are high quality. Are they actually sticking around and engaging with your content? Of course, you're tracking the new backlinks you got, but maybe the most important of all, conversions. Are any of these new visitors actually turning into customers? That is the real win.
Okay, so we've seen the claim, we've walked through the strategy, and we've looked at the proof. Now, let's pull it all together, because it's your turn to dominate.
And this is the most important takeaway, I think.
This isn't magic, it's not luck, it's a repeatable strategy, and it's built on 3 pillars. First, relevance, making sure your content actually matches the right audience. Second, quality content, solving real problems for real people. And third, the right audience, connecting with people through those high-authority sites where your ideal customers are already hanging out.
You know, this quote just nails it. In the super crowded online world we live in, it's not just about what you create anymore. It's about who you connect with. And these strategic connections, well, they're the fuel that can launch your visibility like never before.
So there you have it. We've unpacked the whole mystery. That 25% claim, it's not just possible, it might even be on the low side. The secret's out now. So the only real question left is, now that you know, how are you going to use it to ignite your growth?